Welcome to a new week here on lichess and Twitch. International Master William Paschall here with my Pondo friend. He speaks quietly but carries a big stick. Anyway, we're getting started. Let me take a look at a game from our exhibition yesterday. I thought it would be interesting. Welcome, guys. Very many interesting games, especially getting mated in one yesterday. I enjoyed that. But one game in particular I thought would be appropriate. Take a look at here. Where are we? Where is it? Asterbait. Asterbait, you played a great game, man. What happened at the end yesterday? This was Asterbait's simul game. And I asked him to really concentrate and play his best. He did a good job. I thought he did a good job. But at the end, what happened? G5 was wild and crazy. What's up, guys? Stefanos, Juicebox. Asterbait had a number of bad games against me. I thought this was an interesting and provocative setup. Obviously risky to play G5 like a super grob, but it's not outside the realm of realistic possibility. I failed to find any advantage. This was probably a good move by you. Anyway, later on I want to see what happened. So we got this position. You've completely equalized. Played really well. And about this point I realized that I don't have much. I played double rooks. Then I did this really extreme maneuver. Queen F1, Queen H2. And now you're equal. It's basically impossible for either side to break through. And you just drop your E6 pawn here, though it's not a mistake apparently. You have counterplay in this endgame. So it's not necessary though, and I think that it's more your style to keep the queens on the board. But I want to see what happened here. We got an interesting endgame. He's able to play rook G6 to gain the tempo, so he has time to break through with G3. And that's the problem. Otherwise I'm winning. But he has this move. And man, you played to a drawn endgame, I think. This was also a moment where you could have played F4. I thought A5 was a good move under the circumstances to try to play bishop A6. Not a bad move. F4. And here the engine actually says you're better, which is kind of frightening. I didn't even consider the best move here according to the computer with C4. I must have missed something major. Oh, I just hung my C3 pawn. Oh crap. Both of us missed it. Wow, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I just totally missed it. You missed it. In any case, this endgame, it shouldn't be lost for you. What did you do wrong here? Wow, so after rook H2, you're actually in big trouble. You had bishop A6, C4. Maybe you can break out with B5. So the goal is to at least trade off everything, but my pawns are actually fixed. My pawns are actually fixed on the wrong color. So though my bishop on E6 is active, I have a lot of weaknesses on my dark squares. Your king can come in here. You shouldn't lose this endgame. So we both blundered, and then you basically blundered a piece after rook H2, king E3, rook H4, rook F2. Now it's very dangerous for you. Even though you have this outside pawn, may not be easy for black to hold on. Can you defend with king B8? Just passive. I think you can still draw. Now here you lose your d6 pawn. h4, rook d6, h3. Yikes. King f2. Man, you could have held ascending. Anyway, good game. It was good to see a competitive game from you, Astrobate. Though you did end up losing, I was happy that you played quality game all the way through, concentrated. How much time do we have left here at the end, I wonder? It's funny that it doesn't show the times. It does over there, so... What's that? It doesn't show the times, right? Anyway, good game, man. So we're taking challenges here. Blitz and Rapid. 5 + 3 through 7 + 3. Good to see you guys. I've got a challenge from... Okay, let's just accept Time Moose. 5 days correspondence challenge. Get that out of the way so we're not confused. Kavit Emptor. Stefanos is a subscriber. Kareem, if you'd like to challenge, you've got to challenge me to casual 5 + 3 through 7 + 3. Learning chess. You got your account? This is a new one. You made another account? What happened to your old one? I think that's probably the case with most people on the planet. Oh, Corona check. A check? What, are you kidding me? Man, I don't know how the... Dude, are you talking about through your bank account? I like how he brings that up. I don't have auto payments. I already said it. I'm only gonna, yeah, Juicebox, but you're talking about a paper check, or they deposited direct deposit in your bank account? You're talking about like direct deposit? Like I've already probably like given up hope that I'll even ever get a check from the mail. All right, this is unfortunate. I don't want to have to do this, but this guy's not listening, so I'm gonna have to just ban him. I'm accepting challenges 5-3 through 7-3 casual. I don't like having to ban people, but if you're not going to listen and just keep challenging me to 3+0 rated, you get banned. Joyful Emptiness, Stefanos, Learning Chess, The Troll on a Roll. I asked for paper checks, but the last time I got a check from the IRS, it came like a year late, and it was expired, and they had to send another one, and I don't think I ever got the replacement one. Fortunately, that was like for $20. Hopefully my new one will come in time. Alright, so we've got subscriber challenges from Stefanos. Troll on a Roll. I'm getting jealous, Juicebox Wizard. Anyway. Let's get started. Stefanos was challenging me to something else, but now he's changed it. We're going to get another guy who challenges me to ridiculous time controls. No, I don't play 1 minute chess. It's a waste of time. Alright. Stefanos. We've had a flurry of ambulances here for background sounds. It's like chess in the city or whatever. I'm like the chess Kojak. A little bit of city noise in the background. I wouldn't mind the isolated ambulance, but when they come in like series, it starts to get in your nerves like a Japanese water torture. probably my favorite variation of the English opening. I actually like this line because it's quite dynamic and imbalanced. Favorite of both. Well, it's really a favorite of Korchnoi, number 1. Was a favorite of the late, great Viktor Korchnoi. Not a great person, but a great player. So, Korchnoi was probably one of the most disliked famous players I know of. He seemed like kind of a nasty person. Okay, so we're taking Queen F6 here and playing one of two moves. The old move is D4. And you can also play Knight F3. This is one of Korchnoi's schemes too. I mean, I'm not sure who originally invented it, but the idea is that you can actually not play D4. Try to prevent black from opening up the game. Maybe prevent black from playing like C5, exchanging pawns on D4, and playing bishop B4 check, trading pieces. What happens if I try to play that first? Well, I know the theory is Knight F3. I wonder if there's anything wrong with playing bishop D3 immediately. Almost everyone that I know that knew Korchnoi didn't like him. Or just plain hated him. But he was a hell of a player. Incredible. Alright, I'm sorry that I never got to play him. I have friends who did. Played in at least one tournament with him. Where I could have played him. In Spain once. I played on some nearby boards. In his later years, he was willing to play some open tournaments, which a lot of elite players wouldn't do. So Knight C6 I'm not really familiar with. I think the problem with that should be the fact that he's blocking his C-pawn from influencing the center here. That doesn't really tell me what to do, though. It's just as possible to play bishop D3 or D4. That's the million-dollar question. If, like, D4, E5, can I play Queen E2? Another interesting question. He tries to break out here. There is the possibility of playing Queen E2. Then I suppose bishop G4. Anyway, I'm not going to play Queen E2. It's kind of unnatural. I just wanted to point it out to everyone. Definitely a possibility when there's an open E-file. Two F-pawns? What are you talking about? Well, he found it. So what's up with bishop G5, Queen G6? I don't know. I mean, if you take on E5, you wreck your structure. This at least gives me a lasting space advantage. It's like a Chigorin of sorts, but maybe black's okay here. Maybe it's more critical to play something with keeping the tension. I didn't really like bishop g5, queen g6, de5, but why? Well, it feels like he'll sacrifice. You know, he's not going to get mated. Like bishop g5, queen g6, de5. Not going to allow me to like mate him on d8. Bishop g5, queen g6, bishop d3, bishop f5. Looks like nothing for white. Unfortunately, I just help him get rid of that bishop. What happens now if I play bishop g5? I drop the c3 pawn. Doesn't seem very good. So, we have a choice between knight d4, taking on c6. It's basically like a Scotch piece construction. Wonder if e4 is the best move for black. I didn't actually expect e4. I expected him to play like a Chigorin. This looks pretty good, actually. Comfortable with this endgame. Of course, he can play queen g6 here, I guess. I'm comfortable with this. My center is pretty strong. I like this pawn phalanx. Objectively, black's probably okay here, but I think white is a little bit better. Good morning, guys. Welcome to our stream. International Master William Paschall. I'm actually an international master, according to FIDE. I actually have the international master title. Not just pretending to have it, but I really do. For whatever that means in today's fake news world. All right. Never lie to you guys. That's my actual FIDE rating, my classical FIDE rating. I don't put my FIDE Blitz rating. Pretend it's my FIDE rating. Like some. Let's get out of here. I guess we're in the battle lines are drawn. We're going to castle. I was kind of hoping for bishop e4 check, bishop d2. But that's not what he's going to do. Speaking of Korchnoi, the theme of the morning, first game, another great player with the king in particular. King and pawns. Just an all-around great player. Alexander's horse. Good morning. Mad Queen subbed me. And we're getting bombarded with ambulances here. It's like one after another. They must be shipping them in. Right near a hospital. Budapest. Don't remember it being this bad in the morning. Lately. At first I thought you said the Mad Queen subbed me. Mad Queen subbed you, yeah, what, last week? It was like last Thursday, I think. No, it was a morning stream when she came on and gave some gift subs. It must have been Wednesday morning. Trying to remember. All right, what do we want to do with our king? No, thanks for joining us, Alexander. What are we going to do? Alexander's horse. I'm sorry. So bishop e3. My problem is where to put my king in this position. Should I try to venture out to the center? It looks kind of risky. I think I'm going to pass on that. Unless I want to try to play maybe f3, king f2. Interesting possibilities here. Let's get our rook off the file and then think about it. Off the diagonal, onto the file, excuse me. I don't know, accidents happen, guys, and that rook doesn't really belong on the diagonal with the bishop on f6. I don't like the bishop on f6 that much for black either, because it's in the way of the f pawn. That's his best pawn, the best part of his pawn structure, really, this 4-on-3 majority on the king side. And you want to use that, right, Asterbate? Endgame yesterday? Asterbate's endgame, Simul endgame, where he used his kingside majority to mess with me. Correct? b6. Now, alright, how is white going to win the game or make progress here? Not so easy at all. My biggest dilemma is my queen, what to do with my queen. King, whatever. King, queen. King. What to... You said the mad queen, now I'm thinking queens. I was supposed to be thinking about kings in this position. h4, g4. Just grabbing space randomly. The other thing is like bishop a6 can come in and hit the c4. So that's going to require protection all the time. And if I push it, then my other pawn's going to require protection at d5. You know, I mean, maybe I should think about putting my king in the center, but it's definitely not that simple. Like king d2. King d2, king c2 is a possibility. King d2, rook d8, king c2. I don't know, guys. I think I'm going to regret this decision to play castle. Feels very routine. Maybe I should have just played f3 instead and just parked my king on f2. That's probably good. Takes f3, bishop takes f3, bishop f5. I think that black is okay, though. I mean, objectively, I'm trying to win, but I think I can't really say that white is better here. I want white to be better, but he's not, or it's not, you know? I mean, I'm just not better. If you're not better, you're not better. What can you do? I can't deny reality. You know, sometimes when we're playing, we try to, you know, we want to believe what's not true. You know, that's what's happening to me. I want to believe I'm better, but I'm not really better. I'm sad about this position. He's got good chances. Now, I hope I don't have to play Jesus with the c6. Just, you're not allowed to do that. c7. You're not allowed to do that. Took away rook d8. You can't protect. It's hard playing chess. Maybe Stefanos just has to do nothing, you know? He wanted to do something active. And I wasn't sure this even works for me. He just has to do nothing well here. What about this position where I thought forever? According to the engine, rook b1 is one of my best moves. It's my best move. Or second best move. Wow, castle's queenside is a move. I'm not sure I like that. Because I kind of wanted my rooks on these like files here. For me, this is the toughest position. So king d2. Raise your hand if you would have played king d2.
Yes!
I totally thought about it, but my problem was that I didn't like it here. Being on that diagonal. But it solves a lot of problems for White. I just don't know how I'm going to make progress going forward. I mean, maybe it gives me the ability to play something like king c3 and then move my bishop by replacing the bishop as a defender of d4. I can play like bishop f4. Well, I guess, Stefanos, you have to try to do nothing well in this position. But frankly, I thought e4 was kind of a weird decision. So this is theory. And I'm supposed to play bishop g5. I looked at queen e2, though. That's insane. Okay, this has only been played in a handful of games. I was thinking about this. It's artificial to play queen e2. But for the computer, it's obviously critical. Andreykin actually played it. Yeah, I'm not surprised that black is okay here. Anyway, interesting game, man. Thank you. So, we got Troll on a roll. Also a subscriber. Asmir, also a subscriber. We're taking challenges from the subscriber players first. And then I'll move on and take other friends. Well, I mean, it's time control. We need to play quickly and make decisions. It's not easy. Okay, so chess 960, which I haven't been playing at all. My rating sucks. 2175. That's a really, really low rating compared to my other lichess ratings. Although generally, like, chess 960 ratings are lower. I should at least be like 2200 plus. But I haven't been playing chess 960 much. Troll is really good at chess 960. Why don't you have an established rating in chess 960, dude? Oh, you purposely made it 1500. So everybody thinks that you're like 1500 question mark. Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. Why is he 1500? Did you see a simul game against me yesterday? Played really well. Beat me when I overpressed. Yeah, he's a good player. His score doesn't... his score against me being like 10%, less than 10%, doesn't truly reflect his real strength. Because he just like loses on time in perfectly okay positions on a pretty regular basis. Guys, please support and check out the stream. Tell your friends about it. Do me a favor. Donate, support the stream. Yesterday we had a good simul, 25 players. Alright, I'm sorry to stall here. I don't mean to take advantage of the time. Troll. I'm concerned about the bishop on a long diagonal. Queen on a long diagonal is bad. This is a serious issue. How to get my queen in the game. Not going to be easy. Well, for both sides. Trop 10. When you said goat, I thought of trop. Tampa Bay apologized to Tom Brady for kicking him out of a park or something. That's ridiculous. He should just like clearly not be in public training during a quarantine or whatever. But anyway, traitor Tom Brady. Maybe he can forget it. Anyway, he's done. Okay, knight f3. Trompe Bay. Trompe Bay. Tampa Bay. f4, g6, knight f3. What are we going to do about my queen on a8? See, this is bad. I haven't played any chess 960 now. Forever. I don't remember how to play. Serious problems with my queen on a8. I've had problems at chess 960 getting overwhelmed in the center. A little bit, trying to play too hyper-modern. I don't think hyper-modernism in the opening works as well, I feel like, in chess 960 as normal chess. This is going to be a hard game for me. I literally don't play any chess 960. So occupying the center seems to be... That's the feel I have. Occupying the center seems to be more effective in chess 960 than in normal chess. It may just be like maybe just be kind of some sort of paranoia. I don't know. But that's the way it feels. I try to play hypermodern chess in normal games. But when I try to do that in chess 960, it feels like I'm always like getting rolled by central pawns. Does anybody else have the same experience? I'm not sure if anyone's ever really thought about it. I'm sure these advanced players, like top GMs who have to compete in chess 960 tournaments, they have probably put some thought into it, maybe altering their styles for chess 960. I really ought to think about playing b5. It would solve getting my queen in the game at significant risk of exposure on the long diagonal. Yeah, he's definitely not 1500. Someone can report him for rating manipulation. All right. A4. Getting the queen in the game. This is a typical maneuver. Maybe we should do the same thing. I was actually thinking of b5 though. So if I play a6, you play a5, and that's it? Game over? Space is space? Are you serious? Where's all my friends? I should say, where are all my friends? Monday's been a pretty good day lately. Too many competitors streaming. But I really am an international master. I probably was top 1,000 in the world at one point when I reached my peak rating. So, those days are gone. Anyway, we can still have fond memories of being a strong player. Queen a6. Seriously, guys, what's up? This lockdown kind of makes you depressed. That was your idea, Troll, to play Queen a3, correct? 998. I probably was like number 998 in the world at my peak. It sounds like a price. Coming to get you. I feel like I'm playing Bug House. Crazy House. We should probably play Crazy House at some point. Joanna tries. Pepe Lu. Those guys are streamers who they like the Crazy House. Oh, Troll tricked me. One of the worst things is when you get faked out and you think they're going to castle queenside. I just feel like I've been totally used. You tricked me in castle kingside. Just when I thought it was safe to come out of the water. Someone bumped the board. I had to make sure that my Ponda, my Ponda text is not in interfering with the board. Well, if you're going to castle kingside, I guess I'll have to castle kingside. He had this planned all the way, I think. I feel like that's a good closed Sicilian for white. Basically, he's usually playing on the king side in this type of position. My knight is a little bit strange at b4. Can obviously be attacked by c3 at some moment. Queen is strangely placed. The rest are okay. I mean, obviously we knew that the I hate castling. We knew the queen was going to be a problem early on. That's standard. Just a chess 960 game, guys. We're not going to play too many. Kind of mix it up. I'm willing to play an occasional chess 960. All right. This is not really good for my structure. He also has c3, I just realized. Whoops. Lucky that's not. Perfect structural play. And now the center. Center is better. We've allowed ourselves an Isolani at a5. Can't have everything. Other than that, it seems okay. Threatening b2. Bishop is having a hard time getting through the c3 barrier. This is keeping an eye on e4. Welcome everybody to our morning stream. International Master William Paschall. Things get a little crazy. Let's see if e5, knight g4. No, I'm just going to fork him. Increased cheating activity. I think it's just perception. Maybe I have to play queen a6 here. To watch out for those lurking bishops. Well, I mean, increased cheating activity, dude, when there's 90,000 players on the site most days, is a pretty safe bet. Increased every kind of activity. Good activity and bad activity. Yeah, unfortunately, no problem at all. That happens pretty frequently. It seems like people like to play on others' accounts and cheat and stuff. But like whoever was good enough to play on the WCM's account, they could play on their own account. They're probably a title player if they're that good. I mean, it's possible that a title player was cheating, but this rook is just free. Alright, Troll, I don't know what happened, man. Weakness on b3. Two challenges. We lost a bunch of challengers. Morwa isn't a subscriber. We'll play him next. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to cheat in the bullet arena, I guess, but they do it. Yeah, I mean, the WCM at number 12, I don't know what you're thinking. That's like an admission of cheating. Like, a random player without a title would have more chance to explain being number 12. You're the greatest park hustler in Gorky Park or something. You just don't have a title. But if you're a WCM, it means that you're like you're probably under 2200, which is automatically not good enough. A non-entity is more likely to be a top 12 bullet finisher than a candidate master. I'm the greatest bullet player in Gorky Park. Valentin Arbakov. No, I don't think so, learning chess. I don't think it's a fun game, and I don't think it's funny or interesting. You're not going to see that here. I mean, I'm not going to stand by while someone makes that comment. I don't appreciate that comment. It's not fun. It's hurtful. You know, I devoted my life to being good at chess, and when people cheat, you know, you're diminishing that. It's not fun, ever. It's not funny. It's not amusing. You're just diminishing people who devoted their lives to something. This is an interesting move. Queen b6. Huh. What is this position? And I suppose I should just play knight b3. Really, there are alternatives though. Knight b5. Knight b5. How am I protecting my f2 pawn in that line after knight g4? I don't know what made me play this though. This is a variation, I just don't know what I'm doing. For some reason, this particular move order, not a position I've ever played. I feel that white is okay. And we might have to make some slightly inconvenient move like queen e2 in that line. It's really not a big deal. Probably knight g4, queen d2. I mean, there are known lines if you play knight b3, e6. There's something like wrong about his blocking that pawn though. I mean, this should be like e6 and we'd have a normal position now. But he's played d6 instead, blocking the bishop, I mean. It's boring to talk about computer cheaters. Anyway, I mean, sometimes I would get carried away about it, so it's just forget it. But I think it's about perception. When you've got 90,000 players, it's much harder to control than it is when there's like 50,000 players, obviously. Since lockdown, the number of players on lichess has almost like doubled. And maybe I'm exaggerating, but okay, let's say it's not doubled, but it's gone up by like 20 to 30%. Still, it's a very significant amount. A massive amount of players on here. It's not easy to moderate them and control all the amount of people that could possibly be cheating. I think they're trying to do a pretty good job, though. I haven't noticed a direct increase, but it's likely to be an increase because it's harder to track them all down. Okay, let's get out of here with castles. I remember the average of the number of players on the site was around like 50,000, it felt like. 60. Let's say in February, we were usually around 50, 60. Now it's like 90. That's all that extra players that have to constantly be supervised like kindergartners. Another sunny day in Budapest. I think we are supposed to get Wednesday some rain. No problem at all. There must be like a drought by this point. I mean, it literally hasn't rained in like a month. Very unusual spring weather. Queen b4. That's asking for trouble, I would say. You are asking for trouble. How can we trap the old queen? Not so easy. My c-pawn needs to be guarded. This seems wrong. It looks like I would never play that move. You're bound to get your queen trapped. Fall for some sort of tactic. I mean, I could simply play bishop d2 if I want to. I don't know. The Blumenfeld is definitely playable. I'm not sure if I want to play it at the title level. But even there, it was better like 10 years ago when no one was really playing it or people were just starting to play it. That's when I was playing it, maybe 2006, even more than 10 years ago. It seemed like a good weapon when I started playing it in like 2006. And I played it for a few years successfully, the Blumenfeld Gambit. But now, like everything else, is more under the microscope. People have more access. But I think it's fully playable. But you are sacrificing a pawn in a lot of lines, like long term. It's not the safest option. The other problem with the Blumenfeld is that it's very hard to actually get a game with it because people avoid it almost every single time. No one seems to allow it. I'm going to be facing some very serious sunlight here in a second. You may see... And Asmir suddenly got faster. In the simul game, man, it was brutal yesterday. I played a 25-word simul. I think it was Asmir who had the most time of all, of anyone in the entire simul. He only used like half of his time. I try to tell everyone to take their time. I religiously tell people, you're not using enough time. Sometimes they just don't listen. Here, I just can't trap his queen. I don't see how I can trap his queen. This is just really annoying. Gotta stop focusing on trying to trap his queen. Just doesn't seem doable. Like Free said, I really enjoyed your series on it. Thank you for that. So he donated 1,000 bits. Yeah, I mean, I think, thank you, sir. I really think that, and thanks for subscribing. I think that the Blumenfeld is playable. I wouldn't worry about it under any circumstances against players under like 2,400. Really, I start to worry when I'm playing people who are that strong about whether it's viable or not. I played against Gonda Laszlo the last time I played it, like 2 years ago, because I never get to play that much lately. No, it wasn't maybe the last time, one of the last times. And he accepted it and played the line with accepted and G3, and I lost. I mean, I don't know if I should play it against a 2,500 player who's played the opening themselves, you know? That was a really bad choice for me to play the Blumenfeld against Gonda. Because after I picked it up in 2006, he was among a number of young Hungarian players who kind of copied and started playing the Blumenfeld as well. There was a whole bunch of them. So I've had a couple bad games with it. It's not easy. I've won and lost a couple games in the last couple of years. But I believe that it's playable for sure. Just dangerous when you're going up against like 2,500 Grandmaster or something. Not really a safe choice. Is Rockport still playing? I believe so, but nobody's playing now. I don't know much about Rockport. Okay, so F4. It's interesting to see what'll happen with the coronavirus and chess in Europe and stuff. I mean, the United States is like screwed probably till the end of the summer. I don't know though here. I had an email from some chess organizers last week. From a chess organizer, I should say, that involved a couple of different chess events, giving me the impression that they were going to try to hold tournaments in LX next month or two. But frankly, I mean, that seems kind of nuts. I'm about to lose on time. Alright, I guess we have to play knight d4. I don't know. They're going to try to see what happens here. But I think even if chess tournaments, they try to go forward with chess tournaments, it could be a disaster for the organizers. Already chess tournaments are not really a profitable, type of thing as a business. And if you don't get enough players to play in your tournament, you're going to lose money. So a lot of people are going to be reticent to play, I think, at first. Even if we're legally allowed to play chess, let's say in June or something. How many people are going to risk it and actually, go to a physical tournament? I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe at the elite level, they can get back on track when it's like a small, private, round robin tournament for 10 of the best players in the world, something like that will start to happen again eventually. Damn, dude, Osmir's, he's like insanely fast now. It's hard to believe he has 1 out of 32 against me playing like this. Are there spectators in chess tournaments in Hungary? Is it free to enter? Like, almost no tournaments are free to enter. Spectators are limited pretty much to a handful of very devoted chess followers. But again, you know, I haven't been that active. We got incredible sunlight here. It must be really, really bright outside because I'm almost getting blinded. The longer the lockdown lasts, the better the weather gets. It's just like a joke. I'm gonna go for a walk today. Man, the pressure on B3 just too much there. Great game by Alsmir. The untouchable queen there. I was really worried about trading queens and putting his rook on the 7th, which is probably what he should do. What did I just do? I did this last week against Asmir. It's unbelievable. Last week in the Simul, when was it? Every time I play him, I like hang a piece. What a crazy blunder to play. I don't know if I'm winning anymore. Man. Strange hallucination there by me. He made a second mistake playing king c6. Now he's lost. You have to go back. He's almost got this Smislav Botvinnik draw or something. If his king was one square closer, it was Smislav Lilienthal, I remember, Soviet Championship. I was there. Almost that old. This was terrible though. I dropped a piece. I don't remember which Soviet Championship it was. There was a perpetual concept. Danish is Barastosi Daniel. International Master Barastosi Daniel. Seriously? Yeah, of course. I never would have picked you being... Oh, Danish. Okay, I thought it said Danish. Danish, what's up? Barastosi Daniel. International Master from Romania. Of course. I forgot I gave you medicine. Don't tell the Food and Drug Administration about that. I remember, yeah, that was a terrible game. I lost against you. It was a really, really long game. I remember. And it was like the first game of a round robin. and it was painful because I was winning and then I lost. What's up, man? Good to see you here on Twitch. Your countryman, Vita Levente, stopped by my stream like yesterday and last week once. Good to see you guys. Oh, he's also your coach. Wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Good to see you guys. So, Barastosi Daniel, you guys, yeah. Strong player. Good to have another strong player come and join us on the stream. I'm sorry, I thought it said Danish when I saw your name. I was like, why would you call yourself Danish? Thank you, man. Good to see you. Definitely stop by. I'm going to try to raid Levente stream if he's streaming when I'm on. So definitely tell him. All right, guys. Thanks to Danielle for hanging out with us. I'm always handing out free medicine to my victorious opponents. See what a nice guy I am. He beats me and I give him medicine. He'll start in 2 hours. I don't know if I'm still on, but I'll definitely raid him sometimes when I can. So, thanks for stopping by, dude. Good to see you. I hope everything is well. Hope you're healthy. I saw you recently at the Teen Championship, Hungarian Teen Championship. Yeah, we played your team. But that was a couple months ago. Alright, so what do I got? Vishnu was challenging me to rated, and I'm not doing rated games. Morwa. I guess Morwa is next. Or maybe Health Master. Health Master is a subscriber. It's cool, Vishnu. Just don't keep challenging me to rated, because then I get angry. I have to like block people who just keep challenging me to over and over again. Just re-challenge me to a casual game, and that's cool. So, yeah, Barastosi Daniel plays a couple Hungarian teams like me. I think we played against his team, actually in both leagues. Bishop G5. This is like a cross between the Tory attack and the Trompowski. It's actually a Tory attack, I guess, technically. I never really liked playing the Tory attack. I can't accept your challenge next, Vishnu, because I have 2 others first. Oh, you're not Joyful Emptiness, are you? I have to accept the challenges in the order I get them. Health Master, what's this? E4, interesting. Health Master, you have a... Is this a new account? This is your other account. Oh, you were challenging me from like another account and you switched up. You were on Learning Chess a minute ago. Oh, now you're going to play Bishop G3? Can you do that? That's wild. You're going to sacrifice a pawn here? You played C3. I played C3 against Astrobate in my simul yesterday. I've played this move on a couple of occasions. Once I played it against Prohashka, Grandmaster. It's the move I play with Wei when I'm trying to get people to play the Smith-Morra Gambit reversed. So far that hasn't worked though. This is a pawn sacrifice. Astrobate, I've noticed you have an affinity for playing G5 lately. Don't get obsessed with G5. Trust me, it's like an unfaithful girlfriend. G5 will leave you broken if you put too much faith in it, man. Don't put your heart in G5, okay? No matter what you do. G5 is a very dangerous thing. There are situations where G5 is good. But Astrobate has a tendency to get like kind of fixated on certain things, like we all do, to different degrees. But I've seen it in a couple of his recent games against me and a previous game where he played G5 with black. Now white's problem is on the dark squares. This is all going to come apart. Actually, a really sensible move by white. That's a pretty exceptional move. 99 out of 100 players here at this level would just capture, which is probably really bad. Objectively, knight f3 is better, I would think, like trying to get a gambit, some kind of gambit style play for white. This could get a little dangerous for me if I'm not careful. But we're going to take it. Can I have another? So, knight c3, bishop g7. That bishop is a beautiful thing, right? A beautiful thing. Hall of Fame baseball pitcher Dennis Eckersley uses that phrase too often during baseball commentary. But I like it. That is a strong piece, both offensively and defensively. I just sent you a friend request on Twitch, Dennis. Knight c6 now, we're just winning. 2 pawns up with no compensation. Whoops, I thought it was my turn. I have a tendency to do that. I get excited when I have a good position and try to move twice. I tell the story about that, but a lot of you newer people haven't heard that. I had a game long time ago, like 25 years ago, when I was just fairly young. It was around 1995. I played this old man. I've told the story, a lot of our regulars know it, but it's just kind of funny. A tournament in Hastings, England, in an open, and I played an old man. He was a master, but he was pretty old. He was probably at least in his around 70, I would assume, but still pretty strong. And he was just taking forever on this one move. Like, he must have thought for over 20 minutes. And I got up, I walked around, I came back, he still hadn't moved. I got up again, I walked around. It was like more than 20 minutes, 25, I don't know. And finally, I sat down, and I was ready, and I was going to make my move, and I made my move, and then he like jumped up, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I like looked out, and I realized like he never made a move. I just like made 2 moves in a row. It was really embarrassing, and so he was pretty cool about it, and basically I just, he didn't call the arbiter or anything like that. We just continued the game like the way it was supposed to be. But later I would like crush him in this game, and my friend Charles Hertan wrote an article about our trip and about this story in particular. And he said that it was like intentional, like trick. He tried to paint it like it was an intentional trick on my part. Like I just did it on purpose to make the guy think I was that stupid or something. To make him underestimate me. But the truth was, he really took forever and ever, and I just wanted him to make a move. And it's like when you see a mirage in the desert, you're really hoping, and you hope so much that you even start to imagine things, and I wanted him to move so bad that I just imagined he made a move. It was a Bogo Indian defense, and I was white. And his queen was like where my king is now on e7. He had played queen d8, queen e7 on like move 4. And it was maybe move 10 or something. And it was the late opening. And I just like forgot that he had played queen e7. So I thought that was his move or something. because he closed it in behind the pawn structure with d6. That was an embarrassing story. But the funny part is that I think I did it like once more later. I think I did it a second game. I can't remember. But nothing really funny happened that time. Healthmaster here trying to sack an exchange, but it's not really justified. Didn't you have to write everything down? Yeah, but I thought he really made a move. Like, I literally wrote down, like, Queen e7 the second time. I wasn't really, like, looking at my score. You just don't check the previous moves. You know, I wrote down Queen e7 on move 4. And then around move 10, like, I didn't look at what I wrote down for move 4. I just, like, wrote down. I think I must have just wrote down Queen e7 a second time, you know? And, in all his life, he probably had no one ever try to, like, cheat. That's the first time I tried to cheat. I always criticize people for cheating, you know? But literally, I did the most basic form of... I tried to do the most basic form of cheating in chess here. Missed knight f5. Getting too distracted with my little story. Lucky that I'm not in trouble in this position. The durability of black's position is high. You've done something like that several times. That's bad. That shows that we're not concentrating well. Okay, I do it all the time. Like, here. Not all the time, but fairly often on the stream. I'm trying to make a move. When it's not my turn. Yesterday was funny. I played a simul, and I hung a mate in 1. I had no clue that I allowed mate in 1. I just thought the game was over, like my opponent resigned or something. I mean, that's embarrassing. Did you guys see that? I dropped mate in 1 against Morales. But I was probably lost anyway at that point. But it's funny, like, where did that game go? And someone was like, one of you guys said, oh, you got mated in 1. Tomas Reinson, welcome. Alright, this is a lot of pieces. We're up a whole rook, 1 piece to be exact, but it's a big one. F4. Come and get it. F3, you disappoint me. It's a good move, actually. Come on, Health Master. Give it up. Of course, the way that I'm playing, he probably doesn't want to quit. Now he played F4. It's over. Mr. Coffee, how you doing? This fine morning. Just not giving up. Vishnu, we just saw you, didn't we? Okay. I don't know if we still have a challenge from him. Healthmaster plays too fast. I try to teach people not to play bullet, but they don't listen. All right, so we got a lot of challengers. I may not be able to play all these games. We've got about an hour left for the stream. I'm playing mostly 5+3, occasional 7+3 I might do. And Marwa was actually, I thought Marwa was before Joyful Emptiness, but I'm not sure now. Maybe not. Anyway, I'll play those guys. We'll play them in order. Fee and Keto. I do ask that people have like 50 to 100 games. Got 81 games. All right. So we'll take these challenges. I don't guarantee I can play more than these games in a given time. I have about an hour before I have to go. If a subscriber comes along, we'll probably have to take them first. Because I like to give the chance to the subscribers to play. Got a couple really strong players here. Can I raid a channel that's not actually live? I never thought about it. I never tried to do that. Is that possible, Mr. Coffee? Can I like pre-raid someone else's channel before they start streaming? Should be able to do that, right? I don't like that variation with bishop f5. That's pretty lame. And I'm playing a good player. He's 2,500. Mr. Coffee. What about you, Asteroid? Do you know? Can we raid a channel that's not live? Someone must know. Hardly anybody here today. It's funny too, because there's more players than I thought. I don't know, for some reason my Streamlabs is giving me, now it's up to 27 viewers. It was giving me like 15 viewers before. Auto host. You don't think that works? You probably request it from Twitch. No, whatever. I'll just have to do it manually. It would not be a fun raid. Yeah. That's true too. Well, there's not going to be like a lot of people, obviously, if I'm not streaming. This doesn't make much sense. Yeah, just hosting. Just have to host people. I mean, it's not really a raid. Okay, so what am I doing here? I think I faced both bishop takes and queen takes, but it doesn't matter. Am I supposed to play e5 now? Maybe it's easier to play with e5. Go ask Andy Soltis. Lazy man system here for black. This Kabbalak variation. I'd rather call it the Soltis. So Soltis would play, he would play like e5. How is it now? e5 directly. That was his specialty. There's something suspicious about this. Yeah. Joyful emptiness. You're not Fortnite. No Fortnite, please, right? Just making sure you're not someone we know who's also from India. I assume you're someone else. 2,500 Blitz player. A lot of strong players in India. I saw him hanging out on some other stream there, Mr. Coffee. Hadn't been on my stream for a while. Okay. So b4 is a problem. What about attacking the c4 pawn, though? What if I played like queen a6? My queen ends up on a strange track. This a3 is a surprisingly good move. Something suspicious about queen a6 I don't like. It's not him, right? Let's hope. But Joyful Emptiness has not so many games, actually. Fortnite would never do that. He would never create another account and start cheating again, right? I assume Joyful Emptiness is a legitimate, independent, new player. But we'll never get over the trauma of the deception of our good friend there. Where should we put this? We're just going to have problems no matter what I do again. Rook e8 or rook d8? Maybe rook d8? So he's addicted to cheating. I guess we can't trust him. Is that what you're saying? Subtle implication. But he would never be stupid enough to put like India as his country. He wouldn't put anything, or he would probably hide it or change it or something. He would try to deceive us. What about knight g5? I have too many knights trying to use the same path here. But I think if Joyful Emptiness had a stronger move there. Very positional style, kind of risk-free. But honestly, like bishop g4 is not a great variation. I don't usually play e5 in this position, but I've had enough bad results with the alternative that I have to just stop playing that altogether. Giving up my white square bishop isn't justified here. Once I beat the late great Alexander Boykovich from a very bad position in this opening. My friend, later to become my friend, but it was nothing to do with the opening. He always got a good game in the opening. He was like somewhat unsound. New conspiracy theory for the regular followers of my stream. I'm now thinking that maybe Morales and someone unsound are the same person. They have exactly the same style. They play almost the same openings. No, they're slightly different. I can't think of any good conspiracy theories lately. We'll have to come up with something better than that. Joyful Emptiness is very solid, but I thought he could have played better. Now he's only very slightly better. I thought he could have had more. But generally speaking, like, you don't want to give up the bishop for nothing. Like I did. If I could just trade the bishops off, black would be fine. See, this is interesting the way he played it with bishop f1. Oh, he blundered. My ever astute and alert tactical mind, like a steel trap. A virtual steel trap, tactically. Getting mated in one yesterday. Like nobody's business. Let's be patient here. Pass pawn. Pass pawn 99. Well, I would say it was a good game by both sides. Maybe not great. Both of us could play better, probably. My humble opinion. I'm going to go for it here. Just lost a piece. Unbelievable. It's believable. So it doesn't work. This is not what I intended, though, when I played f5. I have to find some computer move now to win rook h2, which definitely wasn't the plan. I'm winning, but it takes some patience. I overlooked queen c4 check. Damn. All right, good game. Not really a good game, though, by both of us, honestly. I don't like to just say good game blindly. You had better in the middle game, and and then you dropped an exchange, and I dropped a rook. So I hate the empty good games. It was kind of badly played. All right. Congratulations, though. Played better than me. Fianchetto, 2050. It's kind of a new account. Let's see if they won all their games or something. I don't want to lose any more games today. I just dropped a rook. That was pretty stupid, honestly. I just completely spaced. I hung a mate in one in my simul yesterday. You should realize when you're playing f5, obviously, that you're weakening yourself on the white squares. So it's not that difficult to see queen c4 check. One thing I have noticed with a lot of strong players is sometimes you're more likely to miss things, from the other perspective. This is like an opening I have a hard time understanding. You might as well play like the French Rubinstein. Yesterday I saw an advertisement, Mr. Coffee, for, what is it? The chess, no, iChess or something. And they had a picture of Ron Henley and his series on iChess about the French Rubinstein. And I was thinking about how bad the French Rubinstein is, how we joke about it now. And this picture of Henley sitting there. Like, not an exciting line. This is basically playing the French Rubinstein with black. I don't understand the point of playing the Scandinavian with queen d8. I mean, I realize some dudes have probably done like some kind of like chess series on this opening, but it's basically horrible for black. You have no offensive chances, and you just get tortured, like Leiko versus Sarawan. Okay, so this is a player I don't really like playing against. Playing like instantaneous moves the whole game in like 30 seconds. I try to teach people not to do stuff like this, to just play without thinking. But that's what bullet chess brings us to. Mindlessly playing chess without any ideas. It's a very dangerous place. Technically, I would never want to trade bishops here, normally. But considering this is so weak on the on the E file, normally I would want to keep my bishops. This is the bad bishop, though. I'm not saying like the French Rubinstein and the Queen D8 Scandinavian are not playable, but it's like thankless. You're never going to beat anybody, and there's no dynamism. White just has the two bishops, and black's groveling for a draw. I mean, that happens in many cases anyway, like in the Caro-Kann in a lot of lines. But I think at least we've got to make an effort to avoid that from happening. I can't understand how people have written chess books on like Queen D8 Scandinavian trying to portray it as some cool and romantic line when it's just bad for black. When it's like a draw at best. You know, if you don't have time to study, I guess it's something to play. Frankly, I played Bishop G4 in the Scandinavian in a game or two. It's basically the same thing. With Queen A5 and Bishop G4 and trading the bishop. Now black is groveling for a draw, but that's the best you can get. Doesn't matter if you're playing Leiko or me or Yasser Sarawan. Just a thankless opening. Mr. Coffee can tell you. There's several authors who wrote books on this. I'm not getting it, you know. Queen D6 I understand, and Queen A5. You know, the only thing is like it's fancy and it's playable. You don't lose by force. King F7. I don't understand why he thought so long in this move. It's like the only move. That's the longest he thought on any single move. He literally thought the longest on it. The most forced move he had to play the whole game. That's really weird. I'm probably like strongest in the end game. So if I can't beat someone in this end game, they've got to be extremely strong. I don't know if I can play F3. I don't like putting my pawns on that color, but I think we can probably get away with it here. Wow, dude. We've shifted pawn structures. And black is like insanely aggressive. Like they have no sense of danger or fear. I'm extremely paranoid playing anybody with like less than 100 games, honestly. But we got to draw the line somewhere. So I tell people they have to have 50 games minimum to play against. Surprised there's no games here. How is that even possible? This has to be like a standard position. There's no games found, really. That's pretty weird. There's something wrong with my Does anybody else's opening explorer not work? There almost have to be games from this position. That's really impossible. Is the opening explorer working? Wow, that's crazy. No one's played d4 in this position. That's pretty hard to understand. How could this not transpose? Curious about the move h5 and g5 here. G5 is the engine's #1 suggestion. Yet it's not a move I'm sure I would play. Curiously, h5 is now the engine's #1 suggestion. Somehow I'm not surprised. Alright, on to the next game. Felt a little bit weird to me to play those moves so quickly without even thinking. Dude, seriously. Been around the block a few times, my friend. Alright. What's up, guys? We're kind of dropping down here, but if you do play me, guys, please don't use an engine. It's a waste of time for you and for me. Seriously, you're wasting my time. Time is money. You're not going to benefit. I'm not going to benefit. And people are going to lose out who could otherwise, like, actually learn something. But G5 and H5, please. You just coincidentally play those moves? Right. Instantaneously, for, like, thinking for 1 second. I guess I'm supposed to play bishop f4. No, I'm supposed to play bishop h4. Okay. Just pretend the last game didn't happen. Thanks for at least accepting a draw. Not to waste any more time. I guess we'll just have to strictly enforce the 100 games rule, Mr. Coffee. That's probably the best thing to do. But I mean, for me, that's enough right there. G5 and H5. To play those moves instantaneously is totally suspicious. He thought forever on King F7, which was only move, for like 40 seconds. And then played G5 and H5 using like 2 seconds on those moves. So Vishnu, interesting. Bishop G7 here. Unfortunately, I don't know this variation well enough for white. I think I'm supposed to play like Knight C3 though. It's interesting that he's not playing D6. Most people will play D6 at some point. I missed a forced mate in 1 yesterday for my opponent in my simul Warnaki against Morales. So don't feel bad about missing a mate in 5 in correspondence. Vishnu also put a brand new account. Everybody has a new account on lichess. Guys, don't challenge me unless you have at least 100 games. And I'm not going to count bullet chess. I really shouldn't play with Vishnu. But I'm going to make an exception. From now on, bullet doesn't count. That's the way it's going to be. It's got to be. There's just too many dubious accounts running around. Last game, a typical example. Right, but I have to be careful, dude. There's no way I can know if you're a cheater or not. You know, I just have to have a rule. So I'll trust you. But the last guy, it was just like, dude, you don't play G5 and H5 using 2 seconds. Those are good moves, but not easy for a human to find. A human who's defending suddenly like plays G5, H5 really fast. Like aggressive pawn moves with no fear. That's enough for me. Most people are reluctant to make aggressive pawn moves like that when they're trying to defend a slightly inferior position. But I've got to make a rule. The bullet chess doesn't count. 100 games of non-bullet chess will be the requirement for me to accept people's challenges. Yeah, Kasparov played this at least once. It's possible to play F3 at one point. I think this is all still pretty standard. Crushed by who? What am I going to do about this brilliancy? Well, we simply have to get out, I guess. Which means what? Queen E2, Queen G2, Queen D2, Queen G2. We have to get away. Yeah, more and more new players. So we had a generous donation from Night Be Free, starting the week with a 1,000-bit donation. Thank you, sir. I got challenges from Brony and a new player, Jim. Jim has Blitz and already over 100. Like my last opponent, I suspect probably was using an engine for assistance. That's why I offered a draw. I'm very uncomfortable playing if I think I'm playing a computer. But it would be difficult to prove that, you know. It's one game and he didn't like crush me. He didn't use the engine, you know, to play the opening and stuff. It's hard to tell if people are cheating and they just cheat for some moves. Maybe not the whole game. I think Knight D7 here is unusual. Most typically, black will play knight to c6 and bishop d7 and castle queenside. That's what I remember, because I did study this for black with the intention of playing the Dutch defense. b6 is slow, so I would assume, I mean, it's a natural idea, but weakens the white squares a bit. Now if knight b5, how does he protect? Maybe knight f8. See, if I was a computer, I'd probably have some stuff based on knight b5. Really tactical ideas, like queen b4. A move a human might not play. I mean, actually, knight b5 might even allow knight e4 here. Knight takes c7, check, king d8, but I can't play like that. I'm a human being. We'll just have to play like f3. If you're going to start teaching someone from ground zero, learning to program, how long would it take you to teach them to be 1500? And well, I don't know about that chess site. I don't play there. But I can approximate like a 1500 rating, you know, on most chess sites and online in general. Yeah, I mean, from ground zero, like a year probably. If you're talking about really from ground zero, I could probably make them a 1500 in a year. But they would have to, you know, probably not just take a lesson, an hour lesson every week. I mean, they'd have to put in like their full energy to playing and practicing on their own. In addition to, like, you know, doing a lesson every week, there has to be work from the other side, of course, which is obvious. I mean, I would assume. Starting your chess journey. But you never really sat down and played. So like over the board, like with a set or with friends or with the real pieces. It's so weird that I learned chess in the 80s. And we were just starting to use computers, you know, at home. Like, I'm like the first generation that had like a chess, you know, let's say a computer at home. It's so weird, you know, to meet people who learn chess exclusively online. So I don't know, Vishnu seems really, really strong. He's already 2088 in Bullet. Looks like I'm kind of slightly worse now because of the H file. Maybe not worse, but I'm not better. And he's got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is a new account though, so his ratings aren't accurate. Let's say he's not a cheater. Let's say he's legit, but he still only played 39 games. I mean, first thing, I think when you're 2088 in Bullet, you should probably be more like the same in Blitz. So his rating hasn't caught up with him. I would guess that he's higher in that Bullet category because he moves really fast and he's good with the mouse and then plays too fast in Blitz. Gave up on your programming dreams, Will. Hopefully you're young and that's a relative statement. Hopefully we don't have to give up on our dreams. At least not till we're old. Even then, you know, technically I could go back to school, even though I'm 39. Around 39. It is hard to unlearn bad habits, Mr. Coffee. That's true. That's why, well, the bullet chess doesn't help. Don't start playing bullet chess. It's just a waste of time. There are other ways you can employ your time. No brain, no pain. Better ways to use your time to improve at chess. The bullet is just an adrenaline rush. It's like a kind of drug addiction. And it's a bad habit. Like a lot of people are just doing nothing but playing bullet chess. That's not going to make you a great player. See, now he made a bad move because he played too quickly. I mean, still his position is probably okay, but he let some of his chance slip. Focusing too much on moving super fast. Why don't you play, like, you know, well, probably he does play casual. Probably he does play, he's ridiculously strong, though. But clearly geared toward playing, like, sudden death chess, probably 33 minute, 1 minute. But this is too fast for improving your game. A lot of people will be like, but Magnus Carlsen plays bullet. But it's like, do you think Magnus Carlsen started out like playing mostly bullet? He's an extremely experienced, like, over the board slow chess player with intensive training from world class grandmasters in long agonizing lessons. He didn't become world champion by playing bullet chess. He just happens to be good at bullet chess too. Sure about b4 here. This may not be enough to win even now. It's just too closed. Better, but I don't know. Winning is going to be tough. Winning is always hard. It's a good joke. It's tough, man. Oh, I just dropped a pawn. I'm gonna lose now? Wow. Interesting. I was winning, I think. Too short of time. I forgot that you can just take on a5. Maybe I'm not winning. This is the problem. Like, my intention was to take here, but variation isn't enough. c5. This is the question. It's still an amazing draw for black. I don't know if black's winning at the end. Incredible defense. Okay, I've got to go soon, so we're just going to play 2 more games. Another account. Like, where are these accounts coming from? 30 games. I'm not going to play anybody with 30 games. I'm tired of the random players. Brony, 18. No, we're going to apply the same rule to Brony. You got to have more than 12. I'm not going to play any more people who have less than 100 Blitz games. That's it. The final straw. You have to have at least 100 rated non-bullet games of some form, or I'm just not going to play people. All right, Jim. Dennis is back. Was he ever in trouble? Yeah, maybe the one line with Yeah, I mean, I think I wasn't winning. Maybe, you know, I was really close, but it looks like maybe he was never lost. It doesn't seem like you're a cheater there, 2007. I don't want to like stress that all the time. Jim waited forever and now he's not here. We'll play COVID 20. I think he has 100 games. Yeah, so yeah, Danielle. I mean, I don't know. I was happy not to lose because I was worse in the middle game at some point and worse on time. But at the end, I thought I was winning until he found this miraculous maneuver when I played a5 to play bishop h6, bishop d2. I thought I was winning and then hallucinated. So I didn't play knight takes a6 because I thought it was not enough to win. I don't know. Danis is a really strong player, so maybe he can figure it out. It felt like I was close to winning. I don't like what happened on the king side, though. Probably I had a better way to play in the early part of the endgame. You know, not to allow black to get that passed pawn on g3. That seems like now my king is completely tied down. You know, after I allowed him to get the pawn on g3, I'm basically struggling to win. But I'm not sure if I play better. Bishop takes c6 right away. Okay, b takes is much more aggressive than d takes c. But I'm just not going to take challenges from people who have less than 100 games, not counting bullet. It's too easy to play 100 games of bullet. Bullet doesn't count. You can do that in like an hour. Just resign like 100 games. I've got to enforce this rule. Unless you're a subscriber. Guys, I've got to go after like another game. What about this position is new for me. I never played g6. I started to try to work on this. The main line, one of the main lines against the Ras Limo. I don't know the theory. I think d3 is probably normal, although castles, I would guess, is the main line. And d3, kind of committal, but fine. But c3 seems a bit strange to play d3 and c3 so early here for white. It looks like kind of wrong, you know, kind of slow. But we'll see. Yeah, it's really hard finding your games, but I mean, you should be able to do it as long as you have an account on your phone. I don't know the phone app that well. Maybe somebody can help Vishnu, because I'm mostly just playing on the PC. Sometimes when I log in as a guest on my phone, I lose the game I'm trying to analyze. Then there's no way to get it back, so you should definitely have a registered account. Obviously, Vishnu does. He just played me. I'm sure you can find your game, Vishnu. It's definitely there. You can't lose it. But you're playing on your laptop. Oh. I thought you were playing on the phone. All right. James, what's up? You can send a challenge. Are you talking about Warnaki? I thought you wanted to send a challenge to me. I still have time for one more game after this. But I should get going soon. You got an analysis there, Dennis? What's your conclusion? We can take a look after this. You know, I never really played that line, so when I played Bishop G5 against the last opponent, my excuse is the fact that I don't really know the theory of Bishop G5. I'm just sort of making that up. It appeared that my opponent didn't as well, because, well, at least he knew the beginning strategy to play like Queen E7, D6, Bishop G7, etc. But his development on the queen side was strange. I've never seen anyone do that, even though I couldn't really prove it is a mistake or something. I must have done something wrong in the opening, clearly, not to get some kind of decent position. It didn't seem like I had anything. So we'll see after this. We can take a look at Dennis's analysis. We've got the massive center here. This is an opening I've been playing all my life. Essentially, the English opening with colors reversed. Now G4 is really bad. I hope he's not planning that, because knight F4. I have time. But white is strangely like not developing his knight. I don't know what he's waiting for with the B knight. Maybe Queen D2 was misguided. Idea C. Alright, he can do this. He can take and play knight C3. That's probably his best at this stage. That, I guess, is his plan. You know, seriously, I should consider maybe knight F6. Maybe knight F6. He gives up the bishop, but he doesn't have to take. Okay, my bishop is open, but the pawn structure gets blocked now. Really big time. So the issue becomes, is it possible to break through? Because it's so closed. If like F5, E takes F, G takes F, G5, he keeps like locking the position. It's going to be hard to break him down, break him open now. And how do I keep my F4 pawn protected? This is we had the theme of Korchnoi in today's stream, because I had a couple of English openings. This is another one essentially with reverse colors, but he was big on this. Yeah, we're going to take a look. Cool. So maybe I should play like Bishop E5, but my structure is really bad. See, G5, I guess I have to play G5. It's pretty committal. I don't really like playing G5, making it harder. Now I don't have an F5 break. Now my only break is like H5. Pretty clear what I'm trying to do as well. You don't want, when you play chess, you don't want your opponent to be able to guess what your plan is. It's called telegraphing. And now it's pretty obvious what I'm doing, but that's what happens when you don't have many plans. Now actually, maybe I allowed him to play E5. I'm not sure if he should. It's an interesting debate. Wow. I mean, E5 is kind of risky for white, to be quite honest. You know, maybe he shouldn't do that. But he does get a really good score for his other knight at E4. It's a really dangerous idea. Maybe good. H5 is Speaking of dangerous, now I'm playing dangerously with black. I don't know who this player is. I mean, this is a new account too. 363 games is nothing. I did win a game against them, but it's not a player I certainly wouldn't vouch for them. I don't know anything about them. Like, really sacking a pawn here. Whoa. Now you've got knight e4, but white's playing really fast. I mean, it seems dangerous to give up that pawn. But he's kind of getting it back by force. Not afraid of knight f6. How about the h file? I'm not afraid of knight f6. Maybe I should be afraid of knight f6. Actually, we should learn to be afraid of knight f6. I think it's probably something I should be afraid of. Queen c5 is a threat too. Not easy. Position is about to get really crazy here. After bishop d4. I didn't want him to man, this could get dangerous. Very, very dangerous. I have no idea what's going on now. Man. These knights are extremely scary. This is crazy. I could be worse here. Bishop takes f3 check. Maybe queen d7. I'll drop my f4 pawn. Can't do that. So we have a lot of issues. It seems like white is better now. I'm not sure I like someone whose name is COVID-20 though. That's not cool. It's not funny. I don't know about this. I like it when someone comes in here, Ryuga King, and they're like, hey dude. There's a lot of dudes wondering who you're talking to. But anyway, seriously. How's that file doing? Get your knight out of there. Hey dude. That's kind of generic. I say it all the time, dude, but we don't know who you're talking to. Probably me, but you can't assume. King f7. Ambulance. I live in the capital of ambulances. Guys, I have to go after this analysis with Danes, probably. We'll take a look at some from the last game I played. That end game. Man, this is crazy. So white with the knights versus the bishops. Do you guys remember we had a player I used to play on the stream quite a few games with who seemed to have that? Once in a while you run into players who have that like fixation with they have to have knights instead of bishops. They think knights are better than bishops. It's uncommon, but I do see it. In this position, it's not worse than a bishop, the knight on e4. It's true. I think I might have pulled the trigger here too quickly on this move. Very surprised by his recapture. Very surprised by myself too. It was just a bad move by me. like drawing at best here. Who knows? Oh. Might get lucky. I think he had a queen check, which was stronger. Rather than the rook check. But I still don't know if I'm even mating. Okay, this is obviously... Man, dude, good game. I mean, I don't think I'm even thinking about winning when I blunder my A-pawn. I'm just happy to draw now. After queen takes A5. So Dennis invited us to take a look at that last game, the ending. I guess he put in these notes. Thanks for joining us, COVID-20. Thanks for doing this with us. IM Barastosi, Daniel. So he joined us, also friends with Vita Levente, Grandmaster from Romania. He'll be streaming later on his stream, Tranquilizer. So check this out. He says, yeah, Queen H1 is a threat now. So this is where I felt like I had nothing. I felt like my position was worse. I mentioned Knight B5, Queen B4 earlier. Queen C4. This is strong. I can allow Queen H1. That's what the Daniel put in there. But I had already left myself with a very bad time problem. So when I leave myself with not enough time, I can't see like sharper lines. Bishop C4 was a bit strange. Yeah, I don't know about the opening. There's no games. So what happened here? So apparently, like, not many players play Bishop G7. D6 is more like flexible. But still, I mean, it doesn't seem bad. And then E6 instead of D6. Again, like, doesn't seem that bad. I went with H4, like this De Jong game here from 2016. We're following an exact game, but I didn't feel like I have an advantage here. The engine thinks I do. See, this is where you'd be better off having a lot of experience playing a line, because like the move Knight H3 like never occurred to me. This is the problem when you play openings that you don't know deeply. I never played Bishop G5 in a tournament game, this variation, and when you don't play something, you don't know the subtleties of it. Like this idea of playing Knight H3, it never even entered my mind because I'm putting the knight on the side of the board. This is... So it takes like a subtle move to exploit black's mistake in the opening. But anyway, okay, we got to the endgame part where I thought, you know, I'm equal, okay, I'm not worse here. But I have chances to outplay my opponent from this equal position. That was my view of this point in the game. If he's a lower rated player, as he is, I should have chances to outplay him from a kind of equal position. Here, I mean, if it was a tournament game, I would probably be willing to agree to a draw if my opponent is around the same ELO rating. I don't think that I really have enough here for an advantage. I almost lost on time. We get to this position here where I just trade queens because I want to keep it simple. So we have an equal endgame. Should be a draw. But the first move that I don't like is E5. This is a very important mistake by black now, because the only problem he had was like on the white squares, which were Basically, yeah, it's equal. This is a really bad move, though, because immediately knight h4 starts to be a problem. And I was reluctant to play it right away. But maybe it just would be better to just do it right away. You'd think I could probably just win the pawn. If f4, can he defend it? Yeah, he can defend it. He can defend it enough times. Though it's a very bad bishop. This bishop, see, this is why you don't want to play e5. You don't want to have your pawns on f4. There was queen c4, which is crushing earlier. You know, you were talking about that middle game. If I hadn't wasted all my time in the opening, I would have found that kind of move in a longer game. Right here. Like really brute force tactics. Attacking with knight b5 and stuff. But you have to see that you can allow queen h1 check and bring your king up to d2. Or interpose a piece or something. But I mean, I was wondering if I was winning in the endgame. Actually, you know. I think I'm close to winning here. Knight c5 wasn't a good move. e5 wasn't a good move. So I was thinking maybe I'm winning in this endgame. I wasn't sure about b4. The problem is I didn't want my pawns to get fixed with b5 on the queen side. That's why I played a4 now. And then this is a trick, because if I trade pawns, it's more closer to a draw. The closer I get to the more and more simplified endgame. So I would like to like create a weak pawn on f4, but I had to go for e4. But I'm wondering if I can win this endgame, you know. What I was wondering, Daniel, was if there was a chance I can win here. It's like a closed King's Indian endgame with the space advantage on the queen side. It's just not quite enough to win with the bad bishop, but it's close. I figured I'd trade my bad bishop. It's debatable. Maybe this is just a draw, but I thought I could win it. It's probably too closed. I have to get my king to c4 and go a5. Then he'll take. This is interesting. He found king g6. I'm not sure if it's the right plan. Maybe his king is just out of play. I mean, he did get some counterplay eventually, but I would, with black, I would want to kind of just defend passively. I think he could just defend passively. My bishop on f2. Yeah, objectively, this looks like it was a mistake to go bishop h4. Too much time pressure to just simplify. My bishop's better than his bishop, so it doesn't really make sense to trade it off necessarily. My bishop's probably better than the knight. It is a good bishop. It's true. So you're right. I mean, maybe we don't have to trade the bishop. And try to keep it on the board objectively. It's more complicated too. This is probably not best. Giving that bishop up, and also his knights are redundant. Look at his knights. I mean, this is kind of sick. Those two knights, which are overlapping. I could have played a5 here with the idea of sacrificing, you know, on like b5 and getting a passed pawn. Yeah. But like, if he plays b5, we can go knight a2, king d3, and c4. Like Daniel's talking about, maybe these ideas of using the king. This kind of position is probably close to winning. Yeah, so probably I should keep the bishop on the board. It's just too simplified. I thought I was winning here because this king was so out of play. This is the question now. Am I winning? Okay. I thought forever on this move. No, just 2 seconds. So this is really a blunder. Black should have played knight d7. Staying over to the queen side so he can go here. Help stop that pawn if I sack a piece or something. No, this is his losing move, it looks like. This is right, but then I froze here like an idiot. I was scared to like sacrifice the pawn on f5, but I am winning. I am winning if I play king f2, surprisingly. I didn't have time to really calculate. I figured this would just give him counterplay with like e4. But apparently he's just lost, because his bishop can't get over fast enough. I've got this move, like bishop g7, pawn takes e4 check, king e4, knight c5. I mean, you'd have to calculate this really carefully. So that was the winning move. Though black should have held the endgame anyway. All of his pieces ended up over on the wrong side of the board, which is going to do nothing to stop that pawn. I thought I was winning the way I played it, but I'm not so sure. He got king h4, faked me out. I thought he's just going with the king, and he has bishop h6. So this is the funny part here. Or I thought I was winning. I was even looking at knight takes e5, you know, ideas. I gotta go. Knights Templar. We're just wrapping up. I gotta record a video for chess lecture later, and take a walk. So we'll come back and raid. I'm not gonna have any viewers at that point. Can host. I'll host Tranquilizer later. So knight b4. Is this not enough to win now? So I just bailed and played c5, which is like a blunder. But I realize this isn't enough to win now. Bishop d2. That's why I played the other move. But at least I should try this. There's no chances for white to lose. Black actually has to be really careful with all of his pawns in the wrong color. You know, isolated. Not such an easy draw, actually. I would imagine this is really tricky. For a computer, it's easy, but for a human, I was talking about this yesterday in my stream on my simul. Computers are just awesome with bad bishops, you know, like a lot of times when like people cheat, I can tell like how well they play with bad bishops, but this is only a position a computer can draw easy. For a human, it's not so easy. If my knight gets to f5, you're dropping your g3 pawn. You know, there are ways you can get into Zugzwang very easily here, and the lever with d6. Anyway, Daniel, thank you for joining me, man. I'll try to. I gotta go. I'm gonna try to check out Levante Vita's stream later on Tranquilizer, but I'm gonna have to take off. So we'll check you later. Thanks for joining us here on my stream. That's IM Barastosi from Romania. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up for now. I'm gonna be back tomorrow night. We have a Blitz tournament on lichess, Tuesday, 6:30 CEST. Thanks, guys, for joining us. That was an interesting endgame that I failed to that he failed to win. Anyway, thanks, Mr. Coffee. Thanks to Daniel and everybody for joining us. Bye-bye.